Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kareem and I'm a second year dental student studying and living here in Ukraine, Kiev. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about living in Ukraine, or in specific the city Kiev. And I will try my best to at least let you know the things that I feel like are important for you to know if you ever want to come to Ukraine, whether it be for tourism or if you want to live here. So the first thing is transport. Now in Kiev there's a lot of different options for transportation. I'm only going to talk about the options that the government actually offers for us. I'm not going to talk about the things that you can do by yourself, such as driving a car or biking around or walking, because these are things that you can do wherever you are. You don't need to be in Ukraine to do these things. So I'm going to talk about the options that the government offers. There's 4 different options for transportation, actually 5 if you count Uber, but without Uber that's 4. So the different options for public transportation in Ukraine are metro, tramway, trolleybus and a normal bus. The fees for transportation usually is 8 hryvnias, and it will be probably 7 or 6 in some of the buses, but most of the time it's 8 hryvnias. It is 8 for the metro and the trolleybus and the tramway. That's constant because these are the official public transport that the government offers. Now, what is the best option if you want to transport in Ukraine? First of all, the metro, I think it's a really good option if you live near the metro, because you won't have to spend the time to walk there or something. And another advantage for the metro is that you'll pretty much find a ride whenever you go there. The metro leaves the station on specific time, so whenever you're there you'll find one, whereas if you want to go on the bus you will have to wait for the bus, and sometimes you'll find a place, sometimes you won't find a place, so you don't know if you'll be waiting and then you'll get on the ride, whereas in the metro you will. Now for the trolleybus, I think the trolleybus is the slowest out of them all. I don't really like to do transport in the trolleybus that much because it is the slowest. It's connected to the wires up, so it can't maneuver. But if I want to go to short distances, I do go with the trolleybus. It's not that bad, but it's just that it's slower. Tramway, I don't actually use it a lot as well because it's not near my house. The tramway doesn't take you everywhere that you want. It's for specific places, and not all the time I have to go to these different places that the tramway goes to, so I don't use it a lot. It's extremely rare for me to go in the tramway. You might live somewhere near the tramway and will have to use it every day. I personally have friends that live near the tramway and they use it every day to go to the university. So it depends on where you're living and if it's near you or not. I think the bus is the most convenient option between all of them, because the bus will take you to every single spot that you want in Ukraine. You will not miss out on any location, and you'll pretty much find buses for everything whenever you want and wherever you are. So this is the option of transport that I actually take most of the time in Ukraine. For the metro, you need to buy the small blue coin to enter. For the trolleybus or tramway, you will need this ticket. And then for the bus, you will just pay by cash. You can also enter the metro by paying with your debit or credit card, and you will not have to buy any coins. And another cool thing that you will find in Ukraine about transportation is that if you want to go from one side of the road to the other side, most of the time you will find these underground passage. It's called perikhod here. I don't know how to call it in English. I think it's an underground passage. It's really cool, and most of the time you will find small shops in there that sell different things. Sometimes the passage is really big and there's many different stores in there, and other times it's really tiny and will just take you from one side of the road to the other. Yeah, that's it. Now let's talk about the people in Ukraine. Are they racist or are they actually nice to you? I think in most of the cases, in my personal experience, I've found that the people here are not extremely racist. Actually, most of the people here are nice and they're friendly with you. They would love to meet you, talk to you, and help you with whatever you want. You should also know that there's racism in any country around the world. It's not just here in Ukraine. It's not that all Ukrainian people are racist. They're actually not. Most of them are really nice. Now, what about the safety? I know that you probably hear a lot about the war between Ukraine and Russia, and it is real, but it's not obvious in all of the cities. There's only tension in the borders between Ukraine and Russia, and in the cities that are far away from the borders, there's pretty much nothing. It's completely safe and nothing is happening. You will not feel that there's any war. You will not be affected by any kind of way. The only thing that you will probably see is affecting these cities is that the economy, because it will go up and down depending on how serious the tension is on the borders. But other than that, you pretty much will not notice it. Now, what about theft? Theft do happen here, but a lot of the people are really cautious and they try to hide their stuff. I think the pro tip is that you should hide your stuff in your front pockets, because most of the time I put my hands in the front pockets, so I'm always accessing the things like my valuables, for example my phone, wallet or keys, so no one can steal them from me. Now, not all the people here are thieves. Most of the time theft will only happen in extremely crowded places like the metro or the buses, or if you're in the center, they will try to snatch your phone or your wallet or something like that. So try to keep your stuff with you. And this is something that doesn't just happen for foreigners. Like, it happens for all the people here, even Ukrainians. I think even Ukrainians suffer from this more than us. Actually, one of the doctors in our university had her phone stolen. But yeah, you do hear about it a lot. Even from Ukrainian people, they try to tell you to keep your stuff with you and be cautious and alert if someone is trying to steal anything from you. Now, what about the lifestyle here in Ukraine? The lifestyle is actually pretty cool. There's probably everything that you would want. There's gyms, there's extremely fast internet, there's a lot of traditional foods there's many different cuisines that you can go to. There's Middle Eastern, there's Indian, Italian, Ukrainian, any cuisine that you probably will think of, you'll find it in Ukraine. There's a lot of different restaurants and a lot of different activities that you can do, and most of the things are for cheap. For example, a gym membership in one of the biggest and busiest gyms in Ukraine, it is the most famous one, it's called Sportlife, and it will cost you like $100 for 1 year. I have had that membership, I've only paid $100, and there was actually a sale, they gave me 2 extra months. So yeah, you'll basically pay like $8 for 1 month, or like $8.50 for 1 month in Ukraine of gym membership. Also, the internet is extremely cheap and extremely fast. I believe you can pay $4 or $5 for like 20 gigabytes of 4G. That is extremely fast in Ukraine. And for the Wi-Fi, you will also pay probably $4 to $5, and it will be unlimited and extremely fast Wi-Fi connection. Also, restaurants here are cheap and activities in Ukraine are also cheap, so you can pretty much live an extremely good, happy life and do different activities and go out and hang out with friends, and you will not be paying a lot. I will also probably make a video about restaurants in Ukraine, so if you do want to watch that video, then make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned for that. Now, what about the prices? I also talked about this. The prices here are extremely cheap. I think the cheapest things that you will find in Ukraine are the things that they have made in the country. Like the international products that they need to ship from outside are probably the expensive one. You'll find the prices of these products the same as you would find them in any other country around the world. But the things that are made in Ukraine, and for example services and activities and stuff that like food that Ukrainian people have made, these things are cheaper than any other products, and you will not pay a lot for any of these things. Now, what about the weather in Ukraine? The weather in Ukraine, in the summer it's pretty hot, and in the winter it's extremely cold. In the winter it actually goes like way below zero, so you do need to be prepared for that. There's a lot of snow everywhere. Now, as for the tips that I can give you about the weather here in Ukraine, is that you should wear a lot of clothes. Like, wait, let me show you. You don't want to be wearing jackets like this or this, but you need to be wearing jackets like these. One that is extremely big and thick, and something like this should do the job and keep you warm. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about here in Ukraine is chocolate. These people have the best chocolate that you will find. They have this company here that is called Russian, and the owner of this company is actually the president of Ukraine, and they do pretty good and amazing chocolate. They have many different options such as biscuits, chocolate, cakes, candies, and a lot of different things that you can have. It is probably one of my favorite things here in Ukraine, and you will not complain. Like, honestly, whenever you will taste this chocolate, it's absolutely amazing. And the cool thing about it is that it is cheap. It's not like it's the best chocolate in Ukraine and it's expensive. No, it is the best chocolate, and it is the cheapest chocolate because it is made in Ukraine. Like I said before, products that are made in Ukraine are cheaper than international products. So it is actually cheap. And I think that's a big advantage if you're someone who have a sweet tooth and you would like to eat a lot of chocolate and sweet. Now, also a bonus thing for probably transportation in Ukraine is that I found recently that there's these machines that you can find in the streets. They have touch screens and you can press on them and you can enter whatever location you want to go to, and you can see your different options, whether it be by bus, trolleybus or any other things, and they will tell you the buses that will come or the number of buses that you need to take. Also, Google Maps is extremely helpful if you want to transport and go around in Ukraine. Now, with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I tried to cover as much as I can about living in Ukraine. If I forgot anything, and if you wanted to know anything other than the things that I covered, then feel free to comment it down below. You can also contact me on Instagram. I do reply to everyone that contacts me over there. Some of you actually have reached out and asked me about studying and living in Ukraine. So if you're watching this and you have some questions, then feel free to contact me over there. And you will also see some different beautiful pictures that I take of Ukraine and any other destination that I travel to, because if you still don't know, I'm also a photographer and I do like to take travel photos. So yeah, you can see some of my work over there. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Press the like button if you did like it. Subscribe to stay tuned for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you next week.